On December 22, 2025, just days before Christmas, the U.S. Southern Command executed a sudden and lethal strike in the vast expanse of the Eastern Pacific. The operation was shrouded in secrecy, with warships and surveillance aircraft moving into position under the cover of darkness, ready to act at a moment's notice. The target was a low-profile vessel, a stealthy, custom-built boat suspected of smuggling massive quantities of drugs toward the U.S. coastline. These elusive crafts are designed to evade radar and visual detection, making them a favorite tool of international cartels. This was not a random act, but a calculated move in the ongoing war against international crime. Months of intelligence gathering, surveillance, and coordination between agencies led to this moment, highlighting the complexity and scale of modern anti-narcotics operations. The operation unfolded in international waters, far from any nation's jurisdiction, underscoring the global reach of both the cartels and the U.S. response. The open ocean became a battleground, where law and order are enforced by those willing to act. These hard-to-detect boats are the cartel's workhorses, engineered to move tons of narcotics undetected across thousands of miles. Each vessel represents millions of dollars in illicit profits and a direct threat to U.S. communities. The decision to use lethal force marks a major policy shift, signaling zero tolerance for maritime smuggling. It's a message to traffickers. The rules of engagement have changed, and the risks are higher than ever before. The Trump administration views the relentless flow of drugs as a direct national security threat, likening it to an invasion that must be repelled with decisive action. This approach reflects a hardening stance on border and maritime security. By striking at sea, the U.S. aims to disrupt powerful criminal organizations at their weakest point, before their cargo ever reaches American soil. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that seeks to dismantle trafficking networks at their source. This bold action blurs the line between law enforcement and military operations, raising urgent questions about the future of maritime security and the potential for further escalation in the region. The world is watching closely, wondering if this is a one-off show of force or the beginning of a new, more aggressive standard in the high-stakes battle for control of the Pacific's vast and lawless waters. This strike was no spur-of-the-moment decision. It was the result of meticulous planning and a coordinated effort from the highest levels of U.S. leadership. Every step was weighed, debated, and ultimately approved by those with the greatest responsibility for national security. President Trump has championed a military-grade response to the drug trade, framing it as a national security crisis that demands urgent and robust action. He has repeatedly emphasized the need to treat narco-trafficking not just as a law enforcement issue, but as a direct threat to the safety and stability of the United States. His stance empowers his cabinet and military leaders to take unprecedented action, giving them the authority and resources to act swiftly and decisively. This top-down mandate has reshaped the way the U.S. government approaches complex security challenges. War Secretary Pete Hegseth, a key architect of this aggressive policy, personally authorized the strike after reviewing detailed intelligence and operational plans. His hands-on leadership style ensures that no detail is overlooked. Hegseth's leadership in the newly renamed Department of War signals a shift to a more confrontational approach, prioritizing rapid response and overwhelming force. Under his direction, the department has adopted a posture of readiness and resolve. The operation was executed by Southcom's elite Joint Task Force Southern Spear, a unit specifically trained for high-risk maritime missions. These operators are selected for their expertise, discipline, and ability to adapt to rapidly changing situations at sea. The chain of command is clear. Trump sets the vision, Hegseth authorizes, and Southern Spear delivers. This clarity ensures that everyone knows their role and responsibility, eliminating confusion in moments of crisis. This streamlined structure enables rapid, decisive action on time-sensitive intelligence, allowing the U.S. to strike before threats can escalate or disappear. Speed and precision are now the hallmarks of American military response. Coordination between the White House, Pentagon, and Field Command is crucial for success. Regular briefings and secure communications keep all parties aligned, ensuring that strategic objectives are met without delay. Each player has a distinct role, united by a single aggressive policy. This unity of purpose strengthens the resolve of everyone involved, from policymakers to operators on the ground. The result, a fast, forceful response to narco-trafficking threats, demonstrating the U.S. commitment to defending its borders and interests with unwavering determination. The target was a low-profile vessel, an LPV, custom-built for stealth and smuggling. These semi-submersibles ride low in the water, nearly invisible to radar and patrols. Built in remote jungle workshops, LPVs are designed for one-way trips, prioritizing cargo over crew comfort. Painted to blend with the ocean, they're the cartel's secret weapons, constantly evolving to outsmart authorities. The December 22nd vessel was moving along a major trafficking route in the Eastern Pacific, a superhighway for cocaine, heading north. Identifying and tracking this LPV was a significant intelligence win for U.S. agencies. For the U.S., these vessels symbolize cartel ingenuity and lawlessness. Destroying one not only seizes drugs, but also deals a financial blow to traffickers, forcing them to rebuild and risk exposure. Each strike disrupts cartel logistics and sends a clear message: nowhere is safe. The U.S. didn't just call this a drug bust, they went further, linking the intercepted vessel to designated terrorist organizations. This wasn't just about stopping illegal narcotics, it was about connecting the dots between international crime and global terrorism, painting a much larger, more ominous picture. This connection reframes the war on drugs as not just a criminal justice issue, but a matter of national security and counterterrorism. It provides a powerful justification for deploying military force, expanding the mission far beyond traditional law enforcement. The administration argues that drug profits are a lifeline for terrorist groups. These organizations, in turn, use their networks to help move shipments, launder money, and evade authorities. The relationship is portrayed as symbiotic, each side fueling the other's operations. By labeling operators as narco-terrorists, the U.S. blurs, and in some cases erases, the line between smuggler and terrorist. This new label carries heavy consequences, opening the door to harsher tactics and expanded surveillance. The Eastern Pacific is a vast, lawless expanse, thousands of miles of open water, largely unpatrolled and ideal for both drug and terror networks to operate undetected. Here, the boundaries between criminal enterprise and militant activity become even harder to distinguish. Disrupting these maritime routes is now seen as a preemptive strike, an effort to close off avenues not just for drugs, but for potential terrorist infiltration into the Americas. The stakes, officials say, have never been higher. Critics, however, warn that this approach oversimplifies a web of complex relationships. They argue it risks unchecked military action and could undermine civil liberties or diplomatic relations in the region. But for the administration, the threat is both hybrid and urgent. A blend of crime and terror that demands a new, more aggressive response. They insist that waiting could mean missing the next big threat. The December 22nd strike was presented as a decisive action against a dual threat, one that targets both organized crime and international terrorism in a single blow. This new framework allows the U.S. military to intervene in cases that were once the sole domain of law enforcement, blurring the lines between war and policing at sea. It's a major escalation, broadening the definition of a combatant and expanding the scope of military engagement in the name of national security. The war on drugs has evolved. It's now a war on narco-terror, a conflict where the lines between crime, terror, and military action are more blurred than ever before. The December 22nd strike showcased modern military precision, blending intelligence and lethal force. It began with analysts tracking the LPV using satellite and human sources. Once confirmed hostile, the intel moved swiftly up the chain for rapid authorization. Joint Task Force, Southern Spear, was cleared to engage, likely using a mix of air and naval assets. Surveillance aircraft or drones provided live targeting, ensuring the right vessel was hit. A precision-guided missile, possibly a Hellfire, destroyed the boat, killing one narco-terrorist. No U.S. personnel were harmed, highlighting the remote, asymmetric nature of the operation. The result: vessel destroyed, drugs lost, message sent to traffickers. The U.S. is no longer just seizing drugs, it's eliminating threats at sea. After the strike, President Trump quickly praised the operation, calling it a major victory. He signaled this was just the beginning, promising to expand the strategy from sea to land. Trump claimed land targets would be much easier, hinting at future strikes on cartel labs and compounds in Central and South America. This would mark a dramatic escalation with serious diplomatic consequences. The message: no safe havens. U.S. military might will pursue threats anywhere. The December 22nd strike is now a blueprint for a broader campaign. Trump's rhetoric is clear. The U.S. will go on offense, dismantling criminal organizations at their source. The war on drugs is moving from the ocean to the jungle. To justify lethal force, President Trump cited a striking figure: each destroyed boat saves 25,000 lives. While not scientifically verified, the number is a powerful tool to frame the operation as life-saving. It shifts focus from destruction at sea to the human cost of drugs at home. Each LPV can carry tons of narcotics, enough to fuel thousands of overdoses and empower violent gangs. By stopping shipments at sea, the administration claims it breaks the deadly chain before it reaches U.S. streets. The strike is presented as a defensive humanitarian act. The 25,000 figure turns a military action into a public health victory. For the administration, every strike is measured in American lives saved. The administration's aggressive strategy delivers immediate results. Drug shipments destroyed, cartels hit financially, and a strong deterrent message sent. Each strike makes smuggling riskier, potentially deterring recruits and disrupting cartel operations. The psychological impact is that traffickers now face the threat of lethal force, not just arrest, but the risks are real. Misidentification could lead to tragic mistakes and international incidents. Lethal force in international waters raises legal and diplomatic challenges. There's also the danger of escalation. Cartels may retaliate violently, even targeting U.S. interests. An overly aggressive approach could turn the drug war into open conflict with unpredictable consequences. The administration must weigh each strike's benefits against the risk of blowback. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is razor thin. Every action could reshape the region's security landscape. The December 22nd strike is just the start. A new chapter is unfolding. U.S. leadership is preparing to expand from maritime to land-based operations, targeting the infrastructure of drug networks. This could mean strikes on jungle labs, airstrips, and cartel safe houses deep in South America. Such actions would bring immense diplomatic and legal challenges, risking international backlash. The U.S. may seek cooperation from regional partners, or act unilaterally, citing national security. The coming months will reveal if this bold, high-risk strategy can dismantle the cartels at their source. The world is watching to see if the war on drugs is about to enter a new, even more dangerous phase.